Welcome to the Yo-11 podcast, mostly Vegas, no BS casino experience, and more. Today's episode is Amex Platinum Worth It and a swingers club in Vegas. This is episode 99, season 3 of the Yo-11 podcast. Michael Trager is a casino and travel loyalty expert who also helps people turn their travel dreams into reality. And now your host, Michael Trager. How's it going, Michael?
It's going great. You know, I didn't realize you were talking about that kind of swingers club. I just read the news story. Oh shit! I was totally on another subject.
You know, you gotta applaud their naming, though. I mean,
the swingers club. Oh, I'm so disappointed. I was about to say to you, I thought there were swingers clubs.
Oh yeah, there absolutely are. Yeah, but
okay.
Yeah, it's a different kind of a swingers club, apparently.
Oh, okay. I got it. I was so confused. Okay, that's great. So we're probably going to confuse a lot of people. Well, wow. Well, I guess we can just jump into that story and we continue on the rest. Wow, I totally misread that. Should really read the news stories before we start, not just the titles. I got all excited. Swingers Club, new Swingers Club. Wow. Movestro's really digging deep for those
strip clubs.
First the strip clubs, then the swingers clubs.
You know? Man, it's life out here sometimes. I do what I have to do, you know, for the people.
Heavy research.
Heavy research going on. So I am deep in research.
It's like what they say. It's a tough job, but somebody has to do it. The struggle is real.
There you go. The things I got to do.
Okay. Well, let's go hear this news story about the new swingers club.
All right. Las Vegas is getting yet another mini golf, but this one looks like fun. Swingers Club, no, not that kind, put that pineapple away before you hurt someone, is excited to announce the grand opening of its newest location in the heart of Las Vegas. Located on the bustling Las Vegas Strip, the venue promises an unforgettable experience for both locals and tourists. With a design inspired by vintage country clubs, Swingers Las Vegas features 3 intricately designed mini golf courses, each offering a distinct challenge and charm. Guests can enjoy a curated selection of craft cocktails prepared by expert mixologists and savor delicious bites from an eclectic menu designed by top chefs. To celebrate the opening, Swingers Las Vegas will host a series of events including live DJ performances, special guest appearances, and exclusive promotions. The venue is open to adults aged 21 and over, making it the perfect destination for a night out, corporate events, or special celebrations. You'll be able to find Swingers Club at Mandalay Bay opening in fall of 2024. Swingers Club originated in London and has expanded internationally, bringing its signature brand of sophisticated fun to new cities. Known for its high standards of service and entertainment, Swingers continues to redefine nightlife and social experiences. And that's going to do it for the news, and now for the views. Michael, what are your thoughts about this particular swingers club?
I think this is just like one gigantic PR joke. Because when you read that final line where it says about Swingers Club originated in London and has expanded internationally, bringing its signature brand of sophisticated fun to new cities. Known for its high standards of service and entertainment, Swingers continues to redefine nightlife and social experience.
Pretty damn clever, right?
Oh, and then they show you golf.
Yep. Very clever. I got to give it to them. That's extremely clever.
It's great. It's just it's perfect. It's a perfect PR speak. But what if they did create a golf swingers club and swingers club? Vegas would be the city for it.
Wait, a golf? Oh, you mean a combination of a mini golf and actual swingers?
They're going to call it swingers club.
That would have to be it. Or swingers club, or swingers club, something like that. Swingers club.
Swingers squared club.
Swingers squared. Boom. Nice, to the point. Yep. A bit mysterious.
Yeah.
Couples will show up. Sorry, you're going to have to play some mini golf first, and then we'll show you the rooms.
Then we'll show you. You got to do video. Yeah, that's... We'll throw in an escape club too. It's just all gonna be in there. It's just we're throwing all these concepts in there.
When
Oh,
there's
good.
unwanted advances, it becomes an escape room. Um,
It's escape room. Yes, that's right. You gotta, but I can't
wow.
escape. Oh, escape room. That's right. Not an escape club. An escape club. Yeah, that's right. And turns it into an escape club or an escape room. Yes, that's true.
Wasn't
Okay.
there a UK band or a Euro band called Escape Club or something?
Yes, yes, there was. Was.
That's probably why it came to your mind. All right. Well,
Yeah,
yeah. So
you
there we
know,
go, folks. If you want to get your mini golf on, Swingers Club opening this fall, Mandalay Bay.
this fall. That's right. The Swingers Club opening this fall.
This
I wonder
fall.
if there really will be confusion about that. It is a curiosity because there is sort of confusion about certain names.
They know
Very
what they're doing. Like they know that this is going to be publicity. So I know that people will be confused. They will take a picture of a sign leading them to the Swingers Club. They're going to post it on social media. And this is brilliant. This is brilliant.
and you know what they did? They used the word curated at least once. Every PR piece for Las Vegas must use the word curated. Guests can enjoy a curated selection of craft. There's craft, there's curated. I think there are like 5 words. Experiential, and it's not. There are about 5 words you have to use for like a new
Immersive,
venue. Immersive. Yeah, exactly. They
curated.
didn't they didn't use them all. Craft cocktails, craft something. It's got to be craft something. It's
Ex-
got to be curated something.
yep. Curated.
Intriguing. Okay, so what do you picked the topic today? I was a little surprised actually. Not
When
not the swingers topic. Well, I mean, I was surprised until I found out it was golf.
yeah.
But I the Amex Platinum one. But I guess you've been looking at our Facebook group.
Yeah, I've been looking at the Facebook group and looking at some questions that have come up. So put a couple of
That's the
things
tease.
together. So that's the tease. Yeah, here we go.
So when somebody says, "Is a credit card worth it?" That is always a very slightly loaded question. But basically, the American Express Platinum card, which somebody posted, is this worth applying for? With a bonus of 175 points. Now, those points, if you don't know, are membership reward points. Those are a points currency. We've spoken about that before. So, membership reward points, Chase Ultimate Reward points, you bank those points and then you can transfer them to other programs to redeem miles. You can also use them for other stupid things like Amazon. You should never do that. But so anyway, the question becomes, is it worth getting a super bougie card like the Amex Platinum card, which is $695 annual fee? And the answer is yes. It's very simple. It's always worth it when you have an outsized sub or sign up bonus. And the reason why is because those membership reward points have a value. A regular sign up bonus would be like 50,000 points, 50 or 60,000 points. Now, if we've mentioned this before, Gary Leff does a very good breakdown of the value of points. But let's say if you have an average sign up bonus of 50,000 points, let's just say it's worth between $500 and $600. Okay, well, the annual fee is $695. And then there are other benefits. You get an FHR travel credit. There's a bunch of other credits with Amex Platinum, some of which are harder to use and some of which are easier to use. But the easy thing to know when you have a situation like this is all you need to know is that Amex membership reward points and Chase Ultimate Reward points are two of the most valuable currencies. Okay, you want to have those points because you can use them for a lot of things. You can transfer them to a lot of things. Great, you know that. So now the question becomes, 175,000 points are very valuable because that's close to $1,800 worth of points at minimum. They could be worth much more than that if redeemed for like business class. If transferred and redeemed for like business class flights, they could be worth thousands of dollars. So it definitely offsets the annual fee for the first year, not only because of all the points, but then when you add in the other credits, if you optimize everything, you are getting a lot more value than that $695 annual fee because of the sub. Sub is sign up bonus. Now, there is a catch, not really a catch, but you have to spend a certain amount of money in X number of months to get this bonus. And this offer for 175,000 membership reward points, which is for a platinum card that's a personal, not a business platinum card. Side note, there are some business platinum cards that have offers, I think, that are up to 250,000. The nice thing is that you need to spend $8,000 on purchases on your new card in your first 6 months. So that's very fair. So if you get your new card, you spend $8,000 on it in 6 months. So maybe you want to time it when you have a house insurance payment or other large purchases, you will get 175,000 membership reward points. You're going to want to get those points. You're going to want to take advantage of the other perks of the Amex Platinum card. And then the tough part, first year is easy because you're getting 175,000 points. Then the tough part becomes after that first year, are you going to pay that annual fee again of $695? And that's when you can decide to possibly get another Amex card that's part of membership reward points and cancel this card. The accounts, the membership reward points will be linked. You can downgrade this card, or you can transfer out all your points, use all your points, and just stop the card after 1 year, having taken advantage of, in quotation marks, churning those points. But basically, when these offers, pretty much so, anytime you start to get into situations with offers of greater than 100,000 points, it almost always is worthwhile, even with the high annual fee. And the other thing, and I tell you this all the time, and I've mentioned this a lot of times, you just have to put a value on the points. If you put a cent or a cent, 1.25 cents per point or something, you can then say, well, this is the value of 175,000 points. And does this make sense? Well, the annual fee is this, and this is the value in points I'm getting. And it's just that simple. And you always should be doing that comparison anyway. When you go to redeem a ticket, and if the ticket costs 50,000 miles to redeem, but the airline ticket only costs $100, then 50,000 miles is not a good use of points when it's only $100 cash. But if you redeem 50,000 miles and the airline ticket is $4,000. So you always need to do that relation. And we were talking about that a little bit with the Rio, if you remember, because even though that was a very small amount of Hyatt points tend to be more valuable. And some of those room rates were as low as $19 a night. So just keep that in mind. It just all comes down to the math, and you can always break it down. And that's what I got for you. It's not as complicated as it seems, or it shouldn't be. But it's a good question, and I'm glad Trey asked it. And it seems like a couple of people did get that platinum card, which is awesome.
So, being that you've seen a lot of these cards with rewards and stuff on it, how would you say it compares to maybe one of the more well-known cards that are out there?
I mean, all the Amex cards are really good because of membership. If they earn membership reward points. So basically, I would say pretty much so in the realm of points currencies, membership rewards is excellent, as well as Chase Ultimate Rewards. I value Chase Ultimate Rewards a little bit more. The Amex Platinum card is sort of an interesting card. I mean, because they do have a number of other benefits like platinum card lounges, platinum Centurion lounges in airports, which some people find very useful. They have something called Fine Hotels and Resorts that's similar to like what we do with TravelZork Travel with you can book rooms with perks and benefits, and there are some good deals there, but you can book those online. You also get a credit of a $200 credit per year, which is really, really good with FHR. So that's how some people So they've got American Express has really good travel services, and then there's a number of other like points and bonuses. Some people call it the coupon book with the Amex Platinum card, which basically everything just helps offset that $695. You have insurance and a bunch of other features, but I would say it's one of the better cards. But the problem is it becomes really tough with these cards. You need to make sure you're extracting enough benefit to cover the $695 annual fee, which is rather hefty. Now, the thing about it is, you don't have to worry about that the first year because the points you're getting are way more valuable than the $695. But then after that, you have to start to say, was the FHR credit worthwhile for me? Did I use some of the other credits? Like they have digital credits and things, they have an Uber credit that you have to use in a very specific manner. Like, did I use all these credits and offset the fees and that kind of stuff? So but I would say it's a good, it's definitely a good card. I think though it's definitely a niche product for people, probably people who travel more after the first year to justify the $695 annual fee.
All right. And the second thing we have up here is appeared to be a quote from some sort of a Greek philosopher about dice. But yeah, check it out, man.
Yeah, this one was, I was like, where did this all come from? I didn't even notice this post by Justin a few days ago, but it's in the Facebook group for Zorkcast, TravelZork. How then can one preserve firmness and calmness of mind, and at the same time, the attentiveness that saves us from careless and thoughtless action? By following the example of those who play at dice. The counters are indifferent. The dice are indifferent. How can I know in what way the throw will fall? But to be attentive and skillful in making use of whatever does fall, that is now my task. And I think that's the key phrase. But to be attentive and skillful in making use of whatever does fall, that is now my task. And I think the interesting thing, and I don't know much about philosophy, the interesting thing there is that you have to analyze the situation you're in and make the best of the situation. And that might mean that you decide to leave a losing situation, you decide to bet more in a winning situation. So I think that's being just aware of what's happening, i.e., don't chase your losses. Or if things are going really well, then never lose, like they say, never leave a hot table. But even if it's, that's a big thing with gambling, is seizing opportunities, right? And sometimes those opportunities aren't necessarily based on the math, but they're based on the situation. And that's some of the hardest stuff to deal with, because it's dealing with discipline and being disciplined. And I think everything about gambling comes down to discipline. And if you're having a very good, when we've talked about this so many times, if you're having a really good winning session, knowing when to stop or knowing when to set aside a certain amount of win, so that this really good winning session will end up a winning session and you won't give back the money or keep gambling. But of course, there are some people who just want to be in the action. So you need to be able to figure out that level of discipline. And I think that's really important. And I think also discipline can be with betting discipline, being consistent with the way that you bet, being consistent with the way that you increase your bets, not taking some wild shot at something, just because you're losing, i.e., you've been spreading your bets between $50 and $200 and you've been having a horrible session, and now all of a sudden you start pushing out some $500 and $1,000 bets to make up on that. That kind of thing is definitely rooted in not great discipline. But I like that, to be attentive and skillful in making use of whatever does fall. And to me, that's like whatever happens, that is now my task.
Awesome. I'm trying to figure out what game I mean, obviously they're not playing craps in that image of that apparently was
It's a
made.
mosaic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of, and the reference to the counters are fine, but you do that whole idea of taking advantage of situations or walking away from situations is such a gambler thing. I mean, I think that you have other situation. I mean, I think part of it is just being aware of your circumstances. I mean, that's one of the skill sets for like any games that are not like for casino bank games. It's more like being aware of what the circumstance is. For non-casino bank games like poker, it's being aware of your circumstances and other people and reading, the table and understanding what's going on. So that's sort of very interesting. But I do think awareness is super duper important while gambling for many, many, many reasons. I guess maybe it sometimes seems like you don't have to be that way with slots. Maybe that's why people like slots so much because they don't have to think.
Yeah, that's mainly it for me. I don't have to think. Just hit a button and see what happens.
Well, it's also, I mean, it is stimulating, right? It's because people always ask me like, why do I find baccarat stimulating? I'm like, it's a long story.
Well, I mean, it won't be as stimulating as that swingers club that's about to open here. But
Yeah,
boom.
talking, the other thing that was interesting, and I put this, maybe you want to put this in the show notes, but there was a tweet by, he does really, really good gambling content. It's at Bill Crackman. It's Bill Crackhamburger. And he tweeted out a little episode that he does with his unscripted show. And pulling your slot card out of the machine before final outcome of decision in certain jurisdictions may be illegal according to a current court case. And that's always some great subjects with beating the book. And that's so interesting because that is one of those totally weird situations where people talk about like rat holing chips. That means putting chips in your pocket, pulling a player's card before a bonus. So basically, a bonus is about to activate, and some people will pull their player's card so that the bonus isn't recorded as a win on their player's card. Now, that's not always the case with all casinos. It depends on how good or how bad their IT is, if that will actually be the case. But I think what's interesting here is trying to say that it's illegal to do that, which I vehemently disagree with because I think, if you want to use a player's card and if you want to remove a player's card at any time, who cares? What the argument is tracking. So the argument there is that you're tricking the tracking. So it might be tracking your play, but then it doesn't get to track what your win was. So when the casino looks at your record of play and your tier points and everything, it doesn't see an accurate picture of your win loss. And my answer to that is that's not your problem. That's their problem. That's their IT problem because there's no reason why you can't design a slot system where even if you pull the player's card, that number still stays registered until the end of the event, which would be the bonus. So the fact that some IT systems and backend systems stop recording that thing is not the player's fault. That's the fault of the IT people. And I don't see why that should be considered illegal if somebody does that. And on top of it, I mean, all people are trying to do is reduce the amount of wins or that the casino will see. And I don't blame people for wanting to do that because why? Because casinos love losers. So it's interesting. That's interesting. I don't know. I think it's an interesting, like, what do you think? Like, casinos use information. You see, they use the information against you. Say you win too much, they might reduce your comps or kick you out of a casino property because you won too much, and it could be just because you're lucky. So why? I don't know. I think that's very. I just think it's very interesting. I didn't listen to all the background on that, But I think that there should be no restriction on how you use or don't use your player's card, and it's up to the system to register properly. That's my opinion. I don't know what yours is.
Yeah, I agree. It's you know it's IT's problem. It's not. I don't think there should be any laws saying, oh, you don't take it out. Like, what are you gonna do? Like have one of those like little things like back in the day with when you had to go to one of those old ATMs that used to like lock your card
Mhm.
into like now it's just there until you do your thing. Is that what's gonna have you put in your player's cards? It's gonna lock in place, and then when you hit cash out, it'll unlock. Like yeah, it's IT's problem. I don't think they're gonna.
Well, don't you look at it like that? It's like IT's like I'm thinking like the casinos, like obviously I guess what they're trying to say is like you know what you're doing.
Mhm.
It's like I know what I'm doing, but it shouldn't operate that way, right? I mean, it shouldn't operate if you remove your player's card that the tracking stops in the midst of a play. Like it enters the bonus round, you remove your player's card and it stops tracking the play. Like, yeah, to me, that's like a back end IT problem. Like, no, like it's not the player. I mean, if you're smart enough to do that, I mean, there is a story that goes back with one of my friends and some stuff in Atlantic City. It's like they're considering it like felony card pulling. Right, so, you're a felony card puller,
That's ridiculous.
Movestro.
That's
I know you.
ridiculous.
I know guys like you. You pull your player's card at the bonus. You're a felony card puller.
I've never even had that idea until now, but that is good to know.
It's good though, right? I mean, it's a good topic. I have more to talk about. Yeah, casinos are very very funny. But a lot of things with casino loyalty and stuff, like it's just like when they program the Theo incorrectly, or when the Theo is a blend and you can get an advantage on it. So I mean that's the thing. That's sort of interesting. Like they used to have at a casino in Atlantic City an automated single zero roulette electronic wheel, which was single zero roulette, but they shorted the inside bets, which means they didn't pay the true amount that you would regularly pay at roulette on the inside bets. So it created a higher Theo. But since it was single zero, it paid properly for, like, say, black and red. So you could literally manufacture tier on this machine. And this is years ago, with a very, very low house edge because it was single zero. But the machine's Theo was much higher because they used the blended Theo of the shorting of the inside numbers. And you talk about like what a high house edge roulette has, even single zero, and the fact that they were shorting players on the inside numbers was really, really bad. But I don't remember exactly what it was. But anyway, stuff like that. But casinos, a lot of times, create situations for themselves, because maybe they're greedy, maybe they're not smart, or maybe the IT is just not good. And I never think the players should be punished for that because it's a big game, right? They're trying to beat you. They're doing everything they can do to beat you. So you should do everything that you can legally do to beat them because you're not, that's not cheating. And definitely pulling your player's card is not cheating. And I stand by that.
And it's a nice way to stick it to the man. So there you go.
Or the woman.
Or the woman. Yeah.
Why are we just sticking it to men?
I don't know. That's always been the phrase.
I know.
Stick it to the woman. That just sounds so weird.
Yeah, that sounds. That sounds like that sounds like right. A line at the swingers club.
Maybe. That being said, before we get going, is there anything on your mind? Anything that you'd like to share?
No, thank you. This is episode 99 of the Yo-11 podcast. We will finish this season with episode 100 in Boston. It's going to be a very, very special Boston episode at the new Raffles Hotel, which is the newest 5-star luxury hotel. Also, Raffles is a brand which is very famous Raffles Hotel in Singapore. This actually happens to be the first Raffles Hotel in the United States, which is in Boston. I deviated a little bit because I'm going to be in Boston, and I am arriving in Boston on the 23rd of June. And that date is very relevant because the 23rd of June is the 5th anniversary of Encore Boston Harbor. And I was going to stay at Encore Boston Harbor, but then I got a wonderful invitation to visit Raffles Boston, and I want to share that with people. So I'm a little torn because I got a little sad that I'm not going to be staying at Encore Boston Harbor for their 5th anniversary, but I'm super excited that I'm going to be at Raffles. So that's how we're going to end episode 100 of season 3. It's season 3, right? You keep track of that.
Season
shit.
3. Yeah.
That. It's not my job.
It's not your yarming. Yeah, it's season 3.
Cool. Anyway, that's all I got for you today.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Luxury travel booking, TravelZork.travel. Visit us at TravelZork.travel to plan your next amazing vacation. And please join the conversation on social media. You can find us easily. All social platforms are at TravelZork. We'll see you next time.